Hello everyone. Welcome back, I'm so glad you're here. The lights inside Goyang Stadium did not simply turn on that night, they awakened something. Long before the music began, before the giant screens flashed alive, before millions of hearts around the world started shaking with excitement, there was already a strange feeling floating through the air. Fans arrived carrying memories instead of just banners. Some had waited years to stand there again. Some were seeing BTS together for the first time in their lives. Others could barely believe this moment was real at all. And somehow, in the middle of all the noise, all the screaming, all the purple lights stretching endlessly across the stadium, there was silence too. The kind of silence that exists right before history happens. The kind that makes your chest tighten because deep inside, you know you are about to witness something you will remember forever. Outside the stadium, the atmosphere already felt unreal. Thousands upon thousands of fans moved like waves through the streets of Goyang, wrapped in purple scarves, holding glowing light sticks close to their hearts like treasures. Some fans cried before even entering the venue. Some stood completely frozen while staring at giant posters of the members hanging around the stadium walls. You could hear different languages everywhere, yet somehow everyone understood each other perfectly without needing words. It was not just excitement. It was reunion. It was longing, finally finding a place to breathe again. Cameras flashed endlessly while strangers hugged each other like old friends because BTS has always created that kind of connection, the kind that makes lonely people feel seen. As the sky darkened over Goyang, anticipation became almost unbearable. Every seat filled with restless energy. Fans checked the stage over and over again, searching for clues, trying to imagine what was about to happen. Then suddenly, the screens dimmed. The entire stadium fell into darkness so quickly it almost felt like the world itself had stopped moving. And in that exact moment, the screaming began. Not ordinary screaming. It was the kind of roar that comes from years of waiting, years of love, years of memories attached to 7 people who changed millions of lives forever. The opening visuals appeared like a dream unfolding in slow motion. Traditional Korean imagery blended with modern cinematic effects, creating an atmosphere that felt deeply emotional even before a single member stepped onto the stage. The title ARIRANG echoed through the stadium, carrying cultural weight and emotional history. It was not just a concert name. It felt like a message. A reminder of roots, identity, pain, resilience, and belonging. The instrumental grew louder, and suddenly shadows appeared through the smoke. 7 silhouettes standing together again. The crowd exploded. It became impossible to hear anything except pure emotion. And then there they were. BTS standing beneath the lights like they had never left the stage at all. The first thing people noticed was not the choreography or the outfits. It was their faces. Their expressions carried something heavier now. More mature. More emotional. There was happiness there, but also gratitude, exhaustion, nostalgia, and something almost impossible to describe, the expression of people who understand exactly how precious this moment truly is. Looked out into the audience with eyes that seemed overwhelmed for a split second, as if even he could not fully process the sight in front of him. Tens of thousands of lights shimmered like stars around the stadium, and for a brief moment, he simply smiled quietly before beginning the opening ment. His voice sounded steady, but emotional underneath. Fans immediately noticed it. Every pause felt meaningful. Every word felt heavier because everyone knew what the group had gone through to stand here together again. Then came the music. The stage transformed instantly into chaos and perfection all at once. Massive screens exploded with color while flames shot into the night sky. The choreography moved with frightening precision, but what truly hit people emotionally was seeing their chemistry again. It was still there. Untouched. Natural. Effortless. Like 7 separate souls reconnecting into one heartbeat the second the music started. Jungkook moved across the stage with explosive energy that sent the crowd into absolute madness. Every movement felt sharper, stronger, more confident than ever before. Yet during quieter moments, there was softness in his expression too, especially whenever he looked toward the fans singing along. It felt like he was trying to absorb every second into memory. Jimin looked almost unreal beneath the stage lights, his movements flowing like water while emotion poured through every expression on his face. During emotional songs, fans noticed him glancing into the audience repeatedly, almost like he was searching for individual faces in the sea of lights. His voice carried vulnerability that reached people straight in the chest. B brought a completely different atmosphere whenever the camera found him. There was mystery in the way he carried himself, but also warmth hidden underneath every smile. At one point, the giant screen captured him standing still while confetti drifted around him slowly, and the entire stadium screamed because the moment looked almost cinematic beyond belief. SUGA radiated calm intensity. Even during the loudest performances, there was something deeply grounded about him, something emotionally stabilizing. Fans became especially emotional hearing his live vocals echo across the stadium again because his voice carries honesty in a way that feels deeply human. Every verse sounded lived in, like someone telling real stories rather than simply performing lyrics. Jin brought warmth to the stage that instantly changed the energy of the crowd. Whenever he smiled, fans screamed louder. Whenever he joked during ments, the entire stadium relaxed into laughter and tears at the same time. There is something uniquely comforting about his presence, and that comfort became one of the emotional cores of the night. J-Hope turned the stage into pure electricity. The second he began dancing, the crowd lost control completely. His energy spread through the stadium like fire, but beneath the power and charisma, fans could still see emotional vulnerability in his eyes whenever he paused between performances. It felt like he understood exactly how much this reunion meant to everyone watching. The concert continued like an emotional storm. Every song carried memories attached to different eras of BTS's journey. Some performances felt triumphant and explosive while others felt heartbreakingly intimate. During slower songs, fans sang so loudly that the members occasionally stopped singing altogether just to listen. Those moments became some of the most emotional parts of the night because it no longer felt like artists performing for fans. It felt like millions of emotions blending together into one shared experience. The ARIRANG theme became more powerful as the concert unfolded. Traditional Korean elements appeared throughout the visuals and arrangements, creating a feeling of pride and emotional depth that reached far beyond entertainment. It was culture, identity, memory, and music colliding together inside one stadium. The blend of modern performance and traditional symbolism made the show feel timeless instead of trendy. Fans could feel the emotional intention behind every detail. One particular moment changed the atmosphere completely. The members stood together in silence while the instrumental softened. No dancing. No dramatic effects. Just 7 men standing beneath dim purple lights while looking out at the audience. And suddenly, the enormity of everything hit at once. The years they spent together. The struggles. The uncertainty. The separation. The waiting. The growth. The fear of losing moments forever. It all existed quietly inside that silence. Some fans began crying uncontrollably. Others simply stared at the stage unable to move. Then spoke again, and his voice sounded different this time. Softer. More fragile. He talked about time. About how quickly life changes. About how some moments disappear before people realize they are living them. And while he spoke, the cameras showed fans crying across the stadium, holding light sticks against their chests like anchors. The members themselves looked emotional listening to him. Jungkook lowered his head quietly. Jimin blinked rapidly while trying to smile. Jin looked toward the crowd with an expression filled with affection and sadness at the same time. It no longer felt like a concert. It felt like millions of people sharing one emotional heartbeat. The performances afterward became even more intense because now every lyric carried extra weight. Every smile felt precious. Every interaction between the members felt deeply meaningful because fans understood how rare moments like these truly are. At one point, V walked slowly toward the edge of the stage and simply stood there watching the audience. No speaking. No performance. Just looking. And somehow that tiny moment became unforgettable because his expression said everything words could not. Gratitude. Love. Amazement. Perhaps even disbelief. The production itself was breathtaking beyond imagination. Fireworks exploded above the stadium while giant drones painted symbols across the sky. Moving platforms lifted the members high above the crowd while thousands of phones illuminated the darkness below like galaxies. Yet despite the massive scale, the most unforgettable moments remained strangely small. A glance between members. A quiet smile. Someone wiping tears quickly before cameras noticed. Someone laughing too hard during a moment because emotions became overwhelming. That humanity is what makes BTS different. Even inside the biggest spectacle imaginable, they still feel emotionally real. Near the end of the concert, emotions inside Goyang Stadium became almost impossible to control. Fans realized time was running out. The members realized it too. Nobody wanted the night to end. You could see it clearly in their faces. They lingered longer during ments. They walked slower across the stage. They kept turning around to look at the crowd again and again, like people trying desperately to memorize something before losing it. Then came the final songs. The atmosphere became devastatingly emotional. Fans screamed lyrics through tears while the members struggled to maintain composure themselves. Jungkook's voice cracked slightly during one line, and the entire stadium reacted instantly. Jimin covered his face briefly while laughing emotionally. Looked upward for several seconds as if trying to steady himself internally. And somehow through all the emotion, the connection between BTS and ARMY felt stronger than ever before. Not because everything was perfect. But because it was real. Painfully real. Beautifully real. By the time the final fireworks illuminated the sky above Goyang, many people were already crying openly. The members stood together holding hands while bowing deeply toward the audience, and the roar from the crowd sounded endless. It echoed through the stadium like thunder, like gratitude, like love refusing to fade away. Even after the music ended, nobody wanted to leave. Fans remained in their seats staring at the stage long after the lights came back on. Some quietly replayed videos on their phones. Others hugged friends tightly without speaking. The emotional weight of the night stayed hanging in the air because everyone understood they had witnessed something much deeper than entertainment. They witnessed reunion. They witnessed history. They witnessed 7 people and millions of hearts finding each other again beneath the lights of Goyang. And somewhere in the middle of all the screaming, tears, laughter, memories, and purple light stretching endlessly into the night sky, one feeling remained stronger than anything else. No matter how much time passes, no matter how far the world changes, the connection between BTS and ARMY continues to survive everything.